You can become a millionaire as a doctor on YouTube. You'll just have to leave your conscience at the door. So here are a couple of doctors, and I use this term loosely, who became wealthy by doing this. So follow this 7-step program to become rich. And it absolutely helps if you're not a medical doctor, but something like a chiropractor, naturopath, functional medical doctor. Bear with me, I'll tell you why in a minute. First, you need to find a new fashionable illness, or better yet, a syndrome, and one that doesn't actually exist. In this example, I'm going to use adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue, it doesn't exist. Any medical doctor, especially endocrinologist, will tell you this.
The adrenals do not fatigue.
What?
Okay, so there's no such thing as adrenal fatigue, but it's not like a muscle where you vigorously exercise it, it gets fatigued.
And actually, the official Society of Endocrinology has stated this numerous times.
Tell someone who cares.
Okay, if we're going to make some real money, we're going to have to appeal to as many people as possible. Your syndrome has to have some very, very common symptoms, and a whole lot of them.
If you struggle with fatigue,
maybe you're exhausted at 9 o'clock.
if you feel like you can just never catch up,
Brain fog,
you feel overwhelmed and stressed,
hard to focus.
you feel anxiety,
People are starting to get on your nerves.
trouble focusing or concentrating, or poor memory.
You might wake up feeling exhausted.
If you have a thyroid issue,
Decreased libido is adrenal.
storing excess body
You're
fat,
exhausted, you need a nap.
tired, you're just tired all the time. If that's you, there's a great chance you have adrenal fatigue.
That covers just about everybody on the planet. Before I forget, if you like this video, if you like the content that I present or the way I present it, hit the like button, or better yet, hit the subscribe button. Next step, your syndrome has to be elusive. So what do I mean by this? There has to be no way to detect this syndrome. So adrenal fatigue syndrome, how do we diagnose this? You don't. That's the beauty of it. So apparently modern medicine does not have the means to adequately test cortisol or DHEA.
Very hard to diagnose because it doesn't show up on a blood test.
So therefore, it cannot adequately check if you're suffering from adrenal fatigue syndrome. However, there are some DIY tests you can do at home.
This one, you're just going to hold your breath. If the adrenal glands are good, you should be able to hold your breath for at least 40 seconds. Your ability to tolerate stress. If you can't tolerate stress that well, chances are your adrenals are not coping. Climbing up a hill, going upstairs is going to be pretty bad if your adrenal glands are fatigued. A really good test to determine what's going on with your adrenals is just how well you sleep.
Pretty slick, huh? And there has to be no pharmaceutical cure for this, so nothing that a physician could actually write a prescription for. This is key. Next, we need to make friends with all of our clients, all of our customers.
Oh, my friend!
We need to let them know that we're on their side. We need to let them know that we feel their pain. And this is where not being a medical doctor comes in handy. This is where you can distance yourself from them. Those physicians, they just don't understand, man.
Nope.
They don't get it. They don't feel your pain. But I do. I understand your pain. I can feel your pain. I know that life has thrown a lot of stressors your way. Believe me, I feel your pain. Now comes the fun part. Let's start making some YouTube videos about adrenal fatigue syndrome. All right, so in these videos, what we need to do is we need to convince every single person out there that they indeed are suffering from adrenal fatigue syndrome. This is not that hard.
I believe adrenal fatigue affects every single adult at one time or another.
So many people, I would say about 80% of the population, that at some point will struggle with adrenal fatigue at some point in their life.
Well, these symptoms are so common. Everybody's got at least one of them. And the cause of adrenal fatigue, this is the great part, stress from your daily life. This is so slick. I can sell this. So now you let them know that you have exactly what they need to help them to feel better, to help them get over their fatigue, their brain fog, their insomnia, their depression, their decreased libido, their weight gain. You got it all, baby. And you need to let them know that there are studies out there that have been conducted on what you're talking about. Don't let them know the results of those studies, though, and don't tell them who funded those studies. And here's the best part of your sales pitch. You can do this naturally. This is a win-win situation. And here's the final step. And actually, this could have been step 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter. Now it's time to set up your online store. This is how you're gonna make your money. What you do is you get a good looking product, put your name on it, put your face on it, maybe put your signature on it, put a real nice, cool, fancy name on it. And the cool thing is you got a large, loyal following. So you can pretty much name your price. You can hike the price up to whatever you want. Now you must have ingredients in there that no one's ever heard of, let alone can pronounce. Ashwagandha. And of course, if you're going to be treating adrenal fatigue syndrome, you must have some dried, ground up adrenal fatigue substance from a cow. Okay, now it's time to make some money. Manganese, zinc, copper, L-theanine, L-tyrosine, nutritional yeast, licorice root powder, all dirt cheap. Now what about the ashwagandha? That sounds almost illegal, doesn't it? Where do we even get this? In the Amazon. Wait, no, not in the Amazon. On Amazon. You can buy about a pound of this stuff for $15. Or to put it another way, you can fill up 250 capsules with $1. Or to put it another way, you can fill up one capsule with less than a penny. And what about this Argentinian grass-fed desiccated adrenal substance? Well, this is a little bit on the pricey side. This is going to take you about 1.5 pennies to fill up a capsule. So basically, you can fill up one capsule with these two fancy ingredients for less than 2 pennies. All right, so calculating how much it's going to cost to fill up one capsule with all of these ingredients. About a nickel. Okay, so what are we going to charge for 90 capsules, which is about a 30-day supply? We're going to charge about $42. And what is the cost of the actual ingredients to fill up 90 capsules? It's about $4.50. And we're selling it for $42. So even factoring marketing, packaging, that's still a hell of a profit margin. We're going to make a killing. So just how much money are we talking about here? First up, Eric Berg, who is a chiropractor by trade. How much has he made from online sales? So according to Pipe Candy, $10 to $25 million. Next, we have Josh Axe, who is also a chiropractor by trade. Also, according to Pipe Candy, he has made between $50 million and $100 million from online sales. Holy ashwagandha. All right, so obviously this whole video was done tongue-in-cheek. Please don't go out there and do this. Hopefully you did get some benefit from this. If you did, then all this time I put into this video was very well worth it. But the reason I made this video, and it has nothing to do with money, is this topic really ticks me off. You've got people out there who have true symptoms and they fall into this trap through no fault of their own, and they buy a product for an illness or a syndrome that doesn't exist. What's the problem with this? If they've got these symptoms, they could very well have a true disease. So for instance, what causes fatigue? Not adrenal fatigue syndrome. Congestive heart failure does. Kidney failure does. Leukemia does. A low thyroid does. So that's why this ticks me off, is there could be a delay in getting a true diagnosis for a true illness. And by the time this diagnosis is made, who knows?